I've got 1 hour to make breakfast for the next 7 days. You know, it makes life easier and stuff. But wait, I have a sink full of dishes. My kids are fighting non-stop. And I've got 2 blog posts I should be writing. So many worthy endeavors I could be doing. And yet, I'm going to choose to prepare food ahead of time. I don't know about you, but I always feel so much relief when I go to prepare a meal and there's already food prepped in some way. It's amazing. If you're like me and you struggle with breakfast most days, especially keeping it healthy and quick, you're gonna want to follow right along. And hey, if you're looking for breakfast options that are gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free, these ideas are gonna be right up your alley. So stay tuned. Okay, like I said, we have 1 hour, just 1 hour to make 7 meals for the next 7 days for breakfast. And I'm gonna start with the egg muffins. The egg muffins call for broccoli as the vegetable, but I'm gonna use what I have on hand, which is I've got some broccoli and some peppers and some green onions. And then in the egg muffins, we've also got sausage to make. I don't remember how many muffins it makes, but I'm assuming we'll get enough for at least two different breakfasts. And then I'm gonna make Gap's pancakes. Gap's pancakes will require the almond butter, summer squash, and 8 eggs. And instead of actually making the pancakes during this 1 hour, I'm only going to blend it up in the blender, and then I'll put it in a container in the fridge. And then on the morning that we want the pancakes, I'll make all of them, and we should have enough to feed us for 2 different days. And then the last thing that I'm going to prep is the juices. The juices will go in a smoothie. So I will prepare the juicing cups, is what I'm going to call them, with the celery or carrots, apples, ginger, whatever needs to go in it. And then on the morning that I make the smoothie, I'm going to start by making the juice, then I'll add that juice to the smoothie as the base. So I plan to make 4 different juicing jars, and each jar will be for 1 different day of the week. So we have 2 days for the egg muffins, 2 days for the pancakes, and 4 days for the juices, which is 8 days. It's fine if we get 8 days instead of 7 days, so follow along. First, I need to set my timer for 1 hour. And now we can start. Okay, I'm gonna cook the sausage first in here, but I'm gonna go over there and do it, and then we'll be back. The broccoli I have is kind of big for these muffins, so I'm gonna chop it up a little bit more. I'm gonna cook these just a little bit in some water to make them a little bit softer for the egg muffins. I just added a bit of water to this and I put it in the microwave. I wanted to do it in a saucepan on the stove, but the saucepan was dirty. So it's just a learning lesson for the future. When I do another meal prep session, I need to have the dishes done, or at least the dishes that I know I need to use done, so that I can use them. Because I wasn't going to spend my precious time washing that pot. I like to use this silicone muffin tray because everything just pops out really easily. But if you don't have one of these, you're going to need to put a little bit of oil into each muffin cup. before you put your egg mixture in, because I've done this in a muffin tin before and the egg does stick, so be careful of that. While the sausage is cooking away on the stove, I'm going to mix the eggs with the mustard and salt and pepper, so that by the time the sausage is ready to be mixed, it's all ready to go. Need a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. So we're going to put a little bit of vegetables in each cup. Before I put them in the oven, I'm going to sprinkle some paprika on each one and green onions. I'm just going to do the juices real quick because I think they won't take very long. And then we'll finish up with the pancakes. We have 28 minutes. So I'm not going to peel these apples, I am going to cut them, but I'm hoping that with the peel on, they stay a little bit better. They don't get too brown. The first juicing jars I'm going to put together are a carrot and apple juice. It's mostly carrots and apples, but there's some celery and ginger as well. Well, I guess I underestimated how much room it was going to take. So I might have to use 2 jars for 1 day. The next jars are going to be cucumber, apple, celery juice. The camera died, so you didn't see the ending part of the juicing jars, but I had to get bigger jars for the second recipe, and I had to put some of the apples in a bag. I'm not going to worry about them browning. If I'm really concerned on the day that I make them, then I will just cut it off the very edges of each of the apple slices. Last thing, oh, and the timer did go off, so it's been an hour. But I've been wasting time with the camera and some other things, so I'm gonna say it's pretty close to an hour. But we only have one more thing to do, which is the pancakes. I already have the squash in here. I just need to add the almond butter and eggs, and then I'll blend it up and just put it in a container in the fridge. And here's the state of my table after this hour of meal prep. I actually cleaned a lot as I prepped everything. And that is a wrap for our breakfast meal prep for the week. As you can see, the juicing jars took up more room than I thought. So for 2 of the juices, I had to use quart-size jars. I'm so pumped for these healthy breakfasts that are going to be waiting in our fridge every morning. I thought you might find it helpful to see these breakfasts in action. So I'm going to share 3 different days where I filmed the breakfasts that I prepped. This first breakfast was the day after I did the meal prep. I used all the pancake mix and I made over 75 of these little 3-inch pancakes. We were able to eat them for 2 other breakfasts. On this particular day, I just served them with sliced bananas and honey. This next breakfast,
I made a pina colada smoothie to go with our egg muffins. All I had to do for the egg muffins was just reheat them in the microwave until they were warm. This last breakfast started with one of the juicing jars. As you can see, the apples, even after 3 days in the fridge, were not brown at all. I suspect that's because they were stored in glass mason jars. The apples I got from the plastic bag were only slightly browned, and I didn't use them until 5 days after I did the meal prep. I don't have a juicer, so I blend all the fruits and vegetables in my Vitamix blender until they're just very liquidy. Then I strain that through a nut milk bag to get rid of any pulp. I just take the strained juice and I return it to the blender, and then I add all the ingredients for the smoothie. On this day I used frozen bananas, yogurt, a raw egg, coconut oil, salt, and honey. I will be making a separate video of each day of the breakfast, and it will give more details, so be sure to watch for that. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it inspired you. And please leave a comment if you're going to do this meal prep for your own family. I'd love to hear how it goes. Have a splendid day. Take care.